Welcome to Deep Night Revelation. We'll be picking up where we left off last week. No Brian this week, so they will be pappy-less for their pilot, but he will be here in NPC spirit.
I've got
And
his character, or the one before he altered it.
yeah, he. I forget what. Oh, he. I think he just added one rank of tactics naval,
All right, that's
I
fair
believe.
enough. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on this sheet and pretend like it's there.
So yeah, where we left off, they have come into a system that they were picking up long range radio transmissions from several parsecs out from where they were at, and so they followed them. And they've come into a system called the main world is owned by the Treotania Trading Alliance. It is under the control of the Hakes once again. But they have detected on the world that there is another colony, and the Treotania Trade City isn't very far from this other colony, of course, because the Hakes are going to be turning the planet's resources over um, into technology that they can turn around and sell to the inhabitants of said world. And so these guys are in the process of coming down onto the planet and making a landing to meet up with the Hakes of the Treotania Trade Association for the first time. Before we get started, we'd like to thank one of the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. And tonight we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard makes wonderful beard products such as oils, balms, butters, beard wash, beard conditioner. There is a line for women under the FableBeauty.com brand. And all of their scent profiles are a different fantasy character. Tonight I'm wearing Dr. Wolf beard butter. It smells of pipe tobacco and blueberries. But they have a ton of different scents, and I recommend going through their list. They have a whole bunch of seasonal scents. They just came out with the troll, and there was another one, and I can't remember. I think the leprechaun is over because that was for St. Patrick's Day. But they have a bunch of different seasonal scents, so be sure to check out, what scents they have. They will have some that are on sale that are left over from whatever the last seasonal event was, and but they also have, of course, their regular staple that's available year round. If you are a first-time purchaser, they do have a buy one get one free option. Just go to fablebeardco.com and create an account, and you can put 2 beard oils into your cart. And when you log out, or I'm sorry, when you check out, you can use the code FIRST in all capital letters, and that will get you the second beard oil for free. We also have a merch store. No beard products on our merch store, but we do have hoodies and t-shirts and buttons and a blanket and wall posters. And there's a beer sign. We have all manner of stuff. And 100% of the proceeds from that store goes directly back into the channel. It helps us pay for things such as Roll20 and our Incarnate subscription. And speaking of Incarnate, I really put the new beta through its paces today that you guys will get to see tonight. So yeah, if you want to help us out with that, just go get yourself a t-shirt and a button, or get yourself a hoodie, and we appreciate everything you do for us. So, where we left off, you guys were coming into the world, and if I remember, Pappy made a really good roll. You do receive communication from the trade city. I guess I guess you could call it their starport control. It's not like they have a whole. You're not getting the sense, and your sensors aren't really. Your sensors are corroborating your gut feeling on this, but it's not like this is set up to be a really extensive starport. Um, and so their air traffic control or starport control doesn't really it doesn't really conform to the standards that you would be used to for a starport. Let's put it that way. And the flight controller calls you and says that you'll want to be careful. He is not aware of your ship design, and their landing pads are um, very very specific. They're so if you do fit, he's concerned that you may not be able to fit entirely on the pad.
Well, they have auxiliary landing sites. Is there something near here we can land?
There are plenty of flat areas around. I mean, pretty much everything around though is sand, and so it would be
Like a Sears parking lot.
yeah, yes, it's like a Sears parking lot. More like the back lot at Kmart, rutted gravel. But the problem
Perfect.
is that there could be a issue with sinkage. You know, the weight of a 200-ton vessel landing in sandy dunes could be problematic.
What does Pappy think?
Pappy's fairly confident.
Ah,
Go ahead and make a piloting plus dex check for Pappy.
all right.
I'll let you do it since you probably have his sheet handy.
Yeah,
I have it here somewhere.
I have it up because I knew Brian wasn't coming.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, Pappy's been drinking. You know?
Yes, you know.
Like, you motherfuckers, you know, I fucking.
What are you doing, Pappy?
So it is a little bit.
Dinner here yet?
It is a little bit of a rough landing. Hold on just a second here. Let me get my computer to operate properly.
Is this his new Incarnate maps?
This is the new Incarnate.
That's pretty nice. I guess if they're going to give you the beta test, you should talk about it. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
Look at all these flashy shit Incarnate put on it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the new sci-fi assets for Incarnate. I'm pretty impressed. It is in beta, so I can't complain too big. It is missing some stuff that I would like, and it seems like most of it is geared more towards kind of a cyberpunk feel, which actually works okay with Traveler, since, you know, augmentations are a big part of Traveler. So, I mean, I've always felt that cyberpunk anymore isn't necessarily all of its own thing anymore. It's kind of incorporated into pretty much most sci-fi. So it works. And
I was telling
yeah.
I was telling somebody that if I was going to run Shadowrun in the future, I'd probably use the new Starfinder rules.
Yeah.
To run it, because I like them a lot better than I like the crazy. I love the setting; it's a lot of fun, but those rules were always just nutty.
Well, the last book that they came out with was the retro edition, was a lot better than fourth edition. I have fourth edition, and it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's
it's not good.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, and just the setting in and of itself, they ruined. Like, oh, you don't need a cyber deck anymore. Now you can hack into stuff with your cell phone. I'm like, no.
Your personal Wi-Fi network.
Yeah, your personal Wi-Fi network. I'm like, no, guys, no. So yeah, it's a bit of a rough landing. What you can all three of you go ahead and roll a recon plus intellect check.
Let's see. Do I have recon? Do I have any intellect?
I'm blind.
I made a button finally.
Nice.
Okay.
No, not this one. This is the one with the 12. It's Randolph tonight.
I got
okay.
So
I have recon.
Bocephus got it.
You use recon so fucking much. I'm gonna at least have it at 0 due to just fucking basic skills.
Yeah.
At the very start of the character creation, recon is just
Well, it is. It's one of the. It is a fairly important skill. It is a fairly important skill. So Randolph, you don't. You're looking over this entire situation now. Looking at this map, up in this direction, up here, off of this map to the east, is where the Hague's trade ship is. And these, you see that they have these 3 pads set up. But Randolph, you immediately are looking at these pads, and you're looking at them through the eyes of course, a scout and a Navy man. And it dawns on you as the engineer that these pads look like they are set up for tail landers.
Well, they are.
Yeah, they appear, just the size of them, they appear to be set up for tail landers. Then you guys, both Sarda and Bocephus. So Sarda, you notice that each of these pads has a large fuel tank attached to it. You don't know if these fuel tanks are refined, unrefined. You're not sure. But you would, eyeballing this place, both of you would pretty much... let me double check something. Before I open my mouth and stick my foot in.
Are those beetles?
That's going to be the other part.
Those are insects.
I mean, you guys would classify this. I mean, together with the Hague's trade ship, you looking this place over, it looks like it is probably in the Class B range. If it's Class B, it would be right on that cusp between a C and a B. So you're not sure if these large tanks are refined or unrefined fuel. But Bocephus, you're kind of looking over Pappy's shoulder as he brings it in for this bumpy landing. And you see a creature outside. Let me find him. I get my arm to work. It looks like this. And it is outside, and it appears that it is basically waiting for Pappy to set down, and it is getting ready to hook up fuel lines. And it appears the thing that you notice about it is that so that picture, of course, it's wearing some protective gear on it, like what you would imagine must be the equivalent of a vac suit. This world doesn't have much of an atmosphere, and but you're seeing this thing, and it's kind of hesitant, probably because it's never seen it's never seen a ship like yours before.
well, maybe we should wave him off and not use their fuel.
We don't even know if they use the same fuel as we do.
We don't know if they use the same fuel, and these motherfuckers are fucking bullshit race, man. If we take any of their shit, they're
Right,
gonna
but
say
we can use.
Well, I mean, you guys haven't jumped. I mean, you haven't jumped. So you haven't expended any jump fuel. I mean,
yeah, we don't need a refuel. I guess we should go tell him that we're good.
Really, what we're really looking for is information, right? We're trying
Yeah.
to find out information about the nearby systems.
Yeah, we just
And
want to
so-
talk, set up. Well, don't we also want to? We want to lay the groundwork for communication in case we want to. The people that follow us want to do trade. I mean, in theory, we're also the front runners of many to come behind us, right?
This is pretty damn far out. By the time anybody even consider expanding out here, it would be lifetimes from now.
Right. Yeah, it would be a while.
All right.
10,000, 20,000 years.
Well,
But
maybe.
I mean, that's fine and all. I mean, we can promise future, embassies, but I mean, we'd be talking out of our ass just because it would be lifetimes before.
Well, the idea that we are advanced and that there's more coming behind us demands a certain kind of respect that we're just way out here. It's just us. Those are two different things. Because if I think, wow, these guys are really a little bit more powerful than me, but maybe I can handle just them. That's one thing. But then
But
thinking,
announcing that we're advanced scouts sounds like a bad idea. I think just saying that we're passing through,
all right.
that we're on a mission to explore space and pass through, and
We're on a 5-year
noticed-
mission to explore space and space.
hey, please ignore the spinal mounted weapons.
Yes, right.
Well, that spinal mounted weapon is what will be the equalizer if we get down wrong.
That's right.
So I think just information exchange is really what we're interested in. We'd like to get information about the nearby systems. Find out if there's any rumors of passage across the rift. That's the type of details we're looking for.
Yep. So with that in mind, I want to bring a small computer that has the star map as we know it on it.
Okay. So you can. So are you disembarking? Are you putting on your vac suits and disembarking?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. We that's what we're here for. We're gonna leave Stimpy and Pappy to oversee the ship. We don't want their fucking fuel.
Okay. So there is this rough tarmac road that goes to what appears to be two. There are two airlocks, one to the north and then one to the southeast. And then, of course, there are these two other pads, and you guys step off, and this large crab-like creature comes up and starts speaking, and your translator immediately is trying to chew on the information, but it's going to take a little bit for it to, and it's asking questions like it's pointing at the fuel and kind of holding its hands up and looking over your ship, and it just keeps rambling on.
Huh.
And
It
keeps talking like you guys are supposed to understand what.
Yeah. Maybe it'll.
I think I understand it, right? Don't I?
No, you've never heard this guy before.
Oh, this is not. He's not speaking in the.
Yeah, he's not speaking in Hanks.
Does it have that magical earworm thing?
He still has to listen.
I'll yell at him in Hanks. Hello.
Let's shoot him and get on with it.
So
he still has what?
So even with the ganglion, he's still.
Christ.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit there. He still has to listen to it for a little bit in order for the ganglion to figure it out. But so you're going to yell out something. You're going to say something in Hanks.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, and the off chance that he understands that.
Okay. So you what are you going to say?
Probably scare the shit out of him.
Hey, yes.
Hello. We're trying to get some information.
Okay. Sorry, I had to crack my window there.
Donde está la biblioteca?
So you say you're
Yeah, just hello. Trying to get some information.
okay, and he kind of holds up his hands and in very broken Hakes, he says, uh, welcome, Treotania. He points over here and he says, spaceport, and he points over here and he says, trading. Or he says feeding. Feeding.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we don't want your fuel.
And he kind of nods and he shuffles back over and puts the fuel cables back up onto the tank.
Yeah, leave our ship alone, please. It is.
So let's head over to the spaceport.
Okay. So
It will suck your soul if you touch our ship.
You can see a number of these guys, kind of group you guys over here where I can grab you.
Okay. It's kind of a little perverted. All right.
So you see a number of these crab-like creatures kind of wandering around. All of you can make another recon plus intellect check.
I'm gonna be blind again.
Ah, well.
Wow.
Not as bad as me. I've got a 5.
Randolph smoked it.
Yeah, all of a sudden I woke up.
Yeah.
Not a 6.
I got a 13.
Oof. Wow, you guys are on both ends of the spectrum. So, Randolph, you immediately, and it's fitting that Randolph would know this because you are noticing, you're still paying attention to these pads, and it is your opinion that these are kind of designed for taillanders. Now, you know that the Hakes Predator is a tailllander, so it's very likely that that's what these pads are for. But it's a little weird that they made external pads because you know that the Hakes trade ship actually has docking ports on it for Hakes Predators. And so this would imply that there are additional Predators that dock here.
So there's multiple trade ships.
There are 3 trade ships. 2 are on the main world and one of them is on the moon. The other thing that Randolph notices is looking around at these crab-like creatures, you get the impression that they are not really skilled at the jobs that they are appearing to attempt to do. They are not skilled at being starship maintenance or starport maintenance type people. They are going through the motions like they're checking off boxes on a checklist. Like they're, this is what we were told to do. This is how we were told to do it. They have very rudimentary skills.
Well, what else do you expect from bugs?
Yeah. Fuck them.
Insects.
If they're leaving our ship alone, that's fine.
Starship Trooper.
So you guys make it into
Will we
this.
bat your hands and let them make them go away?
Right. You guys get into this airlock and through, and you come into essentially what is a starport control type of building, but specifically with a Hakes bent. The first thing that you see walking in is that there are print magazine racks here and here in a variety of languages. And I mean, they're not just a lot of them are like technical manuals, like actual print technical manuals. And the other thing that you immediately notice,
See, they must work for the FAA.
right? Yes, there's a lot of Haynes
They
manuals.
must work for the FAA because they're all printed.
The the other thing that you immediately notice is the number of vending machines. There is a drink vending machine of some kind here. There is another kind of vending machine here. There's one that sells food. Over here, there's one that actually is a vending machine for selling fresh fruit. And then over here, there is a large, like, very brightly colored display that is showing various ads of what the Hakes have available for sale. And there is a one of these crab-like creatures over here getting a drink in here, and there is a Hakes over here, and he immediately, starts waving his tentacles around and comes, in that ungately walk that they do with their tentacles, comes walking over, and he says, "Well, welcome, gentle beings. What can the Treotania Trade Association do for you? I see that you had a bit of a rough landing. Is everything okay with your vessel?"
Want to do it, Sarda?
Everything's great with our vessel. Thank you very much for asking. No, we're passing through. We're part of a much larger ship that is unable to enter orbit.
Oh.
And so we thought we'd come and learn what we can about the nearby system.
He says, "Oh, okay."
And we'll get the computer out and show him like where we started.
Okay, so
I'll show him where we started and where we are now.
So
according to our maps.
So his eyes. Hold on here.
He picks up the map and eats it.
So they have 3 eyes.
We need some more. We need some windshield wiper fluid.
And
we want to trade. We want to trade their star maps for our star maps.
So the 2 eyes on the side of a Higgs are used for distance, while the eye in the middle is used for close-up. And his eye in the middle gets really big looking at your map. And you take this not to be one of focusing on what it is. It's actually a facial expression, and he is shocked. Like there is a sense of he can't believe that you came that far. He says, surely that you must have gotten lost and are trying to find your way home, or this data can't be correct.
We are explorers for our people. We're trying to find a way across the rift. And so we've come out this way far trying to find a way across.
And he kind of cocks that head of his, and he looks you over and he says, you don't look anything like the descriptions of the others. Very, very odd. And he says, well, no matter.
Can I show him a picture of a drawing?
What others?
Yeah.
What's this others thing?
Yeah, you can show him a picture of a drawing.
A drawing, and then maybe who else was headed this way? The Zoe, maybe Aslan or Varger. See if any of those click.
Yeah, but the drawings probably let's start with that. That's
yeah.
So yeah, you show him a picture of a drawing, and that doesn't. He's not. He says that that those are kind of familiar.
We've found marks of that they had also passed the same direction we have gone.
He says, then perhaps we are talking about the same ones. There were ones who came through ages ago, many ages ago, and he says they left their mark throughout this region.
We have legends of the ancients passing through our areas as well.
And so he.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go right
Oh
ahead.
yeah. Like, well, if there's markings of them throughout the region, we would definitely be interested in inspecting that. Can you, we want those locations as well as your star map for an even trade. Our star map is large and vast, and can help you plot, you know, several several different sectors worth of places where you could feed.
And you see his tentacles get all kind of twitchy when you say feed, and he says, "Oh, this the feeding on this world is almost complete." And he kind of he looks over his shoulder at this creature over here, and he says, "Not sure that these gentle beings are going to do very well after we're done feeding."
Understand? That is the way of things.
And he says, "Well, you'll of course." He says, "Come with me into the office. We can discuss this with the starport manager and see if we can't come to an equitable agreement over star charts."
All right, that's what we want, right?
So he takes you into this back office, and there is a Hakes back here, and he has a desk. Now, of course, there's no chair because they're Hakes, and I mean there probably is a chair, but I'm not quite sure how they would sit. Just kind of plop down, probably a stool. And the Hakes kind of looks up from what he's doing. He's clearly either doing something important or, like most managers, pretending to do something important. And this Hakes that brings you back. He explains to him what it is that you want, and the one behind the desk pulls out a hand computer and starts tapping on it in a manner that can only be described as like a like the old style ticker tape calculators. And he's tapping on this thing, and he says, "Well," says he says, "Well, how long do you plan to be on world at our starport?"
No more than 3 days.
He says, "Okay, okay," and he says, and what would you be? What ballpark are you in for trading? For what value would you place on these star charts?
5 times what yours are.
I think I think what we can do is, why don't we can equitably trade? How about we give you twice as much information as you give us? I think we're probably providing more information than you are, since our travels are farther. And so, for every system you reveal to us, we'll reveal two to you.
Go ahead and make a persuasion plus social or charm check.
I'm glad Sard is doing that. I'd be about -6.
I'm not that great. Come on.
I've got This is not tame.
I mean, you're also free to try to use psionics if you've got suggestion. That could definitely affect your roll.
Wow, I rolled poorly. 7.
So he says, "Well, that is an interesting offer." He says, "But," he says, "you see, we are almost is my understanding that we're almost completely done with feeding on this world. So in order to make it profitable for us, it would have to be something more than just information.
So they're like tech level 9, right?
Yes.
All right.
Give them a ton of gold.
The money don't count.
Well, I mean, if it's raw ore, it would count.
Yeah, but we don't. I mean, man,
Yeah,
we really want our raw ore.
And he says, right now, he says, if you're going to plan to be here for about 3 days, he says, we'd be, and he lists off some monetary value. It essentially comes to like 5,000 credits that they want to charge for birthing.
Oh yeah, that's no problem. I was struggling to figure out what we can trade because our credits are probably absolutely worthless to them. So
yeah, because I mean, credit plaques from the Imperium.
I can give them some kegs of beer.
Right there, okay, that would be tradeworthy. I mean, they're going to their tentacles are really going to twitch and do their little doodad dance. If you want to trade tech.
yeah, that's what I figured. I'm tempted to ask them. I understand that what you do to a new planet is feed upon it. Have you ever heard of milking an animal? I'll be happy to trade you years of economic theory that our people have developed, in which case you don't have to feed upon a planet, but can milk it for years and years for far more profit.
So this concept of milking is completely foreign to him. He's like, that makes no sense. Like, no, you consume an animal, and then you move on and you go consume another animal.
I mean, I would be willing to, offer some technologies, but I want to, just player talking, or I'll speak out and just plain fucking, our Galanglic or whatever, something they won't understand. I'll be like, I think we need to put a fucking a self-delete virus on any information we give them, and just trade with them, and then we go our way, and then as we leave, the schematics we give them delete, or we give them ones that are flawed that they can't discover the flaws. So I don't like these people. I don't want to make them more powerful.
Yeah, I was hoping to get them to reconsider the way they treat other planets.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
But
give them the plants for an auto chef.
Yeah, man. Maybe I can Bocephus try to be like, if you're almost finished feeding here, and you're wanting a new place to feed, we know worlds that you can make it to that are open and ripe for feeding. So you won't have to hunt. You can go right to a successful feeding ground.
I think we could share slap chop technology with him.
Hold on 1 second.
Celebrate.
There we go.
Chop technology with him. Maybe shake weight. A lot of our infomercial style
Shake
products.
The infamous shake.
The Foreman Grill, George Foreman Grill. I mean, there's a lot of there are a lot of dubious mass marketing products that we could probably share that with.
We could, we could. How about some holographic designs in a prototype that they can look at?
Yeah, the problems they want stuff they can mass produce,
right,
and market, and so that's why I'm thinking of household items that they may not be, like I say, the George Foreman Grill, that type of stuff, anything that they may not be aware of, it's completely fairly harmless.
So you guys all see on this wall, there is a rack behind a clearly locked kind of plexiglass, blue tinted plexiglass, there are what you think are probably weapons locked in this cabinet.
Sure, that makes sense.
We can give them the plan for an AK-47.
No, although
Oh, come on.
I tell you what, I know what you. I
About
know what
transparent aluminum.
these guys are TL10,
Teal 9.
TL9. All right. How about this? I'll take my fabrication chamber, and I will make a 2-liter TL10 fabrication chamber with that, and that's what I'll offer them. So I can get you a fabrication chamber that will fabricate items that are more advanced than what you currently have.
you've got to have the design to put in the fabrication chamber. And if they
It
don't have that
specifically
tech
says
level,
it specifically says I can make fabrication chambers with the
oh
fabrication.
yeah, you definitely can. It's just that for them to make stuff, they have to have the design to put in it.
Correct.
And so
But
unless
it's
you're going
like getting a 3D printer.
unless you're going to give them a whole bunch of tech level 10 designs with it, it's that. But I think what they really want is the ability to mass produce stuff,
Right.
not just somebody's one 3D printer in somebody's closet. They're hoping for something they can actually just crank out. So
Yeah. All right.
So I mean, let us know what your gaps are. What are the products that you would like to market the most, and then we can see what we can possibly help you with.
Well, he would be. He thinks. He's thinking on it. He says, "Well," he says, "I'll tell you what." He says, "Please go check out our trade, our trade concourse." He says, "Feel free to have something to eat. It'll be on the house." And he says,
Perfect.
"Look around, see if there's anything that you would be interested in, and I will run some numbers and run it up the chain and see what it is that we would be interested in."
Well, I mean, we can
Out
make
of-
our own stuff. We're not going to be interested in
Yeah.
getting your fabricated items.
No. We're just trying to pay our way for our stuff. That's right.
Yeah.
So currently, do you have audio visual entertainment?
Yes, and I mean, this large monitor screen is a perfect example.
Okay, perfect.
It's mostly running ads, but there are blips of like 15-minute dramas that are essentially nothing more than an infomercial.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to share some files with you that would be entertainment from well over 50 different worlds I've traveled to. That I can guarantee you has never been seen in an area like this.
Go ahead and make a persuasion plus social check.
Give them just no translations. It's just going to be bunch of A-Team episodes. 10.
Okay, so he's actually pretty interested in that. Yeah, he's extremely interested in what you have, and he says, so this entertainment. He says, do you have something that I could sample?
So yeah, I'll just I've got it on my computer. All right, I'll just pull it up on my PC and my laptop, and I'll try to figure out how to interface with his television monitor somehow. Sounds like it's probably going to be a comms.
Yeah, go ahead and make a electronics comms plus intellect check.
I'm not great at this. I got an 8 though.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you find a way to wirelessly interface, and he sits there and watches probably about 15 minutes of a show, and he looks up at you and with his central eye, and he goes, "But it's not. It, perhaps I'm viewing this wrong or misunderstanding, but this doesn't appear to be trying to sell anything."
That's correct. It's prepared to have you inject the advertisement of whatever you'd like to sell into it.
And
It is
you can,
a blank.
you can see this realization cross his alien face, like the light bulb goes on, and he says, "Well, that could be invaluable."
That's correct, because that's usually the hardest part of making one of these shows, right? I mean, it's easy to sell a product. It's hard to come up with the crap that you package that with. Well, I'm selling you all that crap, and then you can inject whatever ads you'd like.
He's like, "This is interesting." His tentacles, you can see it. He's coming up with all of these ideas of what he can do with this. And he says, all right. He says, you may have a deal. He says, go explore our trade concourse, and I will call you on your mobile comm.
Perfect.
He doesn't call it a mobile comm. He calls it something else.
Right,
You
there,
get the gist of it.
Yeah, there we go. Thousands of hours of entertainment to make it an advertisement. Perfect.
So you guys are heading out, and as you are heading out, this creature kind of calls to you, almost like he's begging.
Yes.
Like he's asking for a handout as you pass by. And you can see that whatever this vac suit is that he is wearing, I mean, you're not sure how this is supposed to look, but to your eyes, it looks old.
Don't give him anything.
And the second part of it is, it doesn't look like it's in very good shape.
Don't give him anything.
If you give him a credit, he'll keep asking for more.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying look, anything that constitutes trade that doesn't go through them is going to offend them. So don't give the bum anything. Let's not take any chance. Don't give him shit. Give him nothing.
Okay.
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a roll of duct tape out of my backpack.
Okay.
And I'm going to peel a piece off, and I'm going to stick it on my vac suit, like
Okay.
I'm repairing my vac suit.
Okay.
And then as I'm walking, I'm going to drop that on the ground.
Okay. Okay. So yeah,
just keep walking.
You drop it on the ground, keep walking, and you head in through this other airlock. And you come into what they are calling their trade concourse. And when you get into this airlock here, you come in and you see that the inner airlock door is like this really kind of fancy glass style sliding door. And it slides open, and you are immediately bombarded with multiple screens of advertisements and infodramas, and there are all these vending machines, and you can smell food, what you think is food, coming from this area over here. And you can see that there is a bunch of movement coming off from this direction. And I mean, there's just a flurry of activity up here. But the immediate, it's almost like an overstimulation of your senses just from all of these brightly colored displays, and they're all The audio is all on, and they're all displaying something different.
Amazing. All right, so I guess check the environment sensor. I've got the warnings patches, so to see if it looks like the atmosphere is acceptable.
Yes, yeah. I mean, in here it is shirt sleeves
Yeah.
environment.
Okay, well, pop off the helmet of my vac suit.
Okay. Yeah, and you pop off the helmet, and then your nostrils are assailed. Um, hmm,
We're gonna have to figure out.
you could definitely smell food cooking, and you can hear the sound of food cooking, but it's hard for you it's hard for you to determine whether or not if that smells appetizing. Like maybe, I mean, your brain is registering that it's food.
It's being cooked.
Yeah.
That eliminates a lot of problems.
Right.
Man, I don't know if I want to eat their food. To be honest with you.
The other thing that you guys notice, and you would see it in here, there are robots moving about. Little server robots, very similar to like um, the steward robots that you would have sometimes on ships, especially smaller ships that can't afford a steward. And they're just when we were kids. Do you remember the Omnibot 2000?
Yeah.
It was that remote control robot, and it had a serving tray and the big advertisement, especially for kids, like, oh, talk your parents into buying this, and then you'll have a robot butler. It's not a robot butler; it's remote control. But anyways, they're a lot like that. They just have the two arms out, and they're carrying a tray of food, and they've got an LED screen that has a face on it that will give some kind of facial expression, and they're moving around. They've got drinks and food and various items on it.
You always remind me of Tweaky from Buck Rogers.
Yes, yeah, kind of, yeah. And then, of course, like I said, you can see a flurry of activity up in this direction. You can't quite tell what's going on, but it's very dimly lit in here, except around, of course, these huge screens that are blaring their infomercials.
Well, I guess let's do a courtesy cruise. We're supposed to what? Stay and hang out here until they come to us?
Yeah, they're going to call you on your mobile comm.
Yeah. And I guess I'll start and just go into this first bay up here and have a look around.
We probably should have brought something to trade so that we can actually buy things. Especially since we're going to a very consumer-focused
That's true.
Dealing very consumer-focused group of people.
Right, but I don't know. They don't have anything I really want. Except for their star chart. That's
Right.
That's the problem. And so I mean, we can do a courtesy cruise, and then I just remember we offended these motherfuckers last time by doing some trivial shit that was really none of their business, and so I think the whole time that we're here fucking with these people, man, we're just one mistake away from everything going south quickly. And that's what concerns me. But I mean, I'll walk around. We can buy their stupid stuff if you want. But
I'm just saying,
they have anything we want.
Yeah, I know, but we landed, and so they're going to expect us to pay for landing on their strip, and everything's going to cost, and so if we're going to waste time in a bar, they're probably going to expect us to buy something, and then how are we all of those things. Having some trade goods of some sort would be handy.
So Randolph makes his way into this what appears to be just a little I was gonna say bar, but it's not. It's more like a food court, a mall food court, little cafe. And they do have various drinks. There is a server robot moving around. Behind the bar there is an actual robot, but it doesn't have any legs. It's just there. It's like on a pedestal, and only the top portion is an actual torso and arms and head. And it is sitting there fixing food and serving drinks. And this Hakes here comes over and wants to know, through Randolph's translator, this Hakes wants to know if you'd like to order anything, and he hands you an actual flimsy that is the menu, and I mean, you can't really read any of it, but you can see that there is other food around. Some of it is cooked. There are others that there's a bowl of what looks like moving seaweed, and there are these two crab-like creatures that are now out. These two aren't in their vac suits, and so they're sitting there kind of slurping up this moving seaweed, and yeah. So this Hakes wants to know if you want anything to eat or drink. Is essentially what his question is.
I like to order something to drink.
Okay. I assume all three of you went in here? I know Randolph did.
Yeah. So did both Cephas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might do what Sarda was talking about though, and go get something to trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the going forward in the future. We might want to come up with like a little trade bag.
Right,
some
yeah.
diamonds.
Just
some
stuff
different
in your
some
cargo hold.
maybe a couple different gems of sorts.
Yeah.
We know our credits are now we're worthless at this point. So
Right.
except for the company store.
So Randolph, you're muted, by the way. There you go.
There we go. Is that better?
Yes. So yeah.
I
So
pull a can of beer out of my backpack and flip it open.
and
It's a bottle of beer.
so the Hakes looks over, and in your translator through, it's broken Anglic. The Hakes wants to know if he can try that,
And I hand it to him.
and he pours a little bit into the beak on the top of his head, and he sets it back, and he his beak on the top of his head kind of opens and closes like he's palating, and the word that comes. That's weird. My Kindle, just an alarm started going off. There was no alarm set, so I don't know. Maybe it's on fire or something. Anyways, so his beak is opening and closing like he's running it through his palate, and he says, And through your translator, it just says, interesting. He says, hold. And he goes back, and he comes back with what looks like almost like a large margarita glass. And there is a effervescent kind of bluish green liquid in it, and there is kind of a smoke coming off of it, and two tentacles, he sets it down in front of Randolph, and through your translator says, similar.
Okay. I pull out my hand scanner.
Okay.
and I scan it to see what's going on. I'm looking for heavy metals and poisons.
Yes. It's carbonated arsenic. Mm.
Yeah. Well, you're talking to somebody who's had arsenic poisoning.
Oh no. So no, it is not. It's not reading as anything toxic. It is some kind. There is a fermentation process. You're not sure what it started out as, but it is a fermented carbonated drink. It is
Um,
coming back
is it
with
malted? It
it.
must be malted if it's similar to beer.
Well, I mean, he thinks it's similar to beer, but it is reading that it does have some levels of nitrous oxide in it.
Hmm. I don't know if I want to try that. I'm going to get the bins.
I mean, it's not they're not high levels of nitrous oxide, but there are some levels.
Sounds great.
So I take a small sip, then I throw up.
It it is quite bubbly, and it is almost vaguely fruity, like a citrusy taste, but in a sour kind of way.
Randolph doesn't like sour kind of way. It reminds him of home.
That's why I left. Damn it.
That's why he left. I handed it to Bophesus.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want shit from predators. I mean, we might as well be fucking hanging out with sharks.
We are hanging out with shark.
So
No?
Sarda, you were gonna order something to eat?
I was going to order something to drink, but when I saw them bring that out, I'm like, I'll have one of those as well.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it is a vaguely citrusy, bubbly drink with a bit of on the sour side. But I mean, it is
It's like drinking limeade.
kind of, yeah. And so
Which is an Arizona favorite.
you guys are able to kind of overhear what these two are talking about. And Sarda, you can make a intellect. Just go ahead and roll 2d plus your intellect.
That would just be 2d6.
Too bad my everything are 0 plus 0.
Right.
This
Not
character,
great.
This character
I
needs
got a 4.
some augmentation.
So on a 4, you're starting to pick out a word or two of what these two are able to, or whatever language it is that they're speaking, and it comes through a lot of clicks and kind of. You're not sure if a squeak is the right sound or more like a rubbing of their chitinous plates kind of communication and a clicking of their front claws. And like I said, they are very crab-like, but you're starting to pick out a few words. Your ganglion is actually starting to grok what they're saying a little bit, and what the overall feeling that you get is that these two are concerned about their colony, and directly relating to the Hagues.
Do the Hagues eat them?
And so I'll just sort of say, well, we understand that they're nearing the end of their occupation of this planet. I mean, what have they? I mean, what is the situation of your planet?
So you kind of come through with some broken words, and they need to find the Hicks. Or not Hicks, these guys. I need to see if they get any bonus to their... Oh, hey, they do. Okay. So yeah, they're able to kind of figure out what it is that you're saying, and so they do their best to describe to you, um, and what comes across is more or less that their colony was falling apart, is falling apart. And they probably would have had some kind of catastrophic failure if it weren't for the Treotania Trading Association. So the Hakes showed up and kind of saved them.
They probably set up the failure to begin with, though.
If they're that clever, yeah.
No. So these guys tell you that that they before they had never met the Hakes before, and their people have been on this. They're not. They know that they're not native to this world. They don't know where they came from, though, because they have been here for so many generations that all knowledge of their true homeworld has been lost. But they do know that at one point they were a starfaring species, and that this was a colony of their homeworld, and their homeworld just stopped contacting them or sending any ships. And they kind of got stuck here. And all these hundreds of thousands of generations later, they really don't have a whole lot of information on where their homeworld is or what. But they, over this period of time, because it's been so long, and with lack of contact with their homeworld, they have really lost technology, and their colony that was built as best as it could be required frequent contact with their homeworld in order to be maintained. And when they lost that over 100 or more generations, they were basically just keeping it held together with duct tape and bubble gum. And that was going to start to fail until the the Treotania Trading Corporation showed up, and essentially they took resources from this world and built technology that they could use to essentially keep their colony running. And so what their concern is that what's going to happen now that the Hakes have basically sucked this planet dry, what's going to happen when they leave?
Nothing good.
Well, you're going to need to learn to be self-sufficient, and hopefully you can do so with what's left.
Well, these guys are not stupid, so they communicate that even though the Treotania Trading Association really should be thanked for saving them, the reality is that in turn they have depleted the resources of the world, and even if they wanted to, there's no resources here for them to really mine in any great quantity that would allow them to continue operation. Even if they had the ability to replicate the technology that the Hakes were trading with them.
That sucks.
Sucks to be us.
Yeah,
Somebody's got a cat in the background. Is that a cat or a dog?
yes.
Yes.
There's 2 cats and a dog there.
Oh,
2 cats back over there, a gray one and a black one, and then this is a dog. She's just a dog.
is that the dog?
She's a miniature Aussie Doodle. I see in
So,
a bit.
Well, I think she'll let you do that till she dies.
this guy tells you that the name of his people. He says he wants to know what the name of your people are, and he notices that the 3 of you are not all alike, and then he pats himself on the chest and says Erline.
Humani.
Bocephus.
Randolph the Great.
You've never met these people before. You could be anything. I'm king of humans. So,
And I'm never going to see him again either.
Yeah.
At least not for 15 years.
I mean, it sucks that they're going through this, and I see the road they're taking, but I mean, I don't know what the fuck we can do. If we do anything to too much boost them up or give them anything, it offends these other guys, you know. And they've got 3 of these really huge trade ships just right around here, and all living, everything dies if we get fucked off. So,
What do you need once they leave? What will it take to get self-sufficient?
So the problem that the real problem that they have is that they're not even sure. So they are not highly skilled enough to accurately repair the equipment that they have, and so they're not even really sure the stuff that's breaking down. They're not sure exactly what's wrong with it. And so a lot of these minute fixes that they've been doing, they've been getting successful simply through experimentation, which means that occasionally they don't get it right, and some of them end up dying. What they really could use is somebody to take a look at their equipment that is more knowledgeable about such things.
Yeah, be happy to take a look.
And so, yeah, they invite you to see their colony, and he passes for he reaches over, and there's like this small, almost appears to be a leather bag, and he pulls out basically pours out of this thing a bunch of what look like small octagon, multicolored plastic chits, and these are essentially. They're essentially company script, and basically the Hakes have been paying the Erline in company script rather than any kind of cash. Of course, it's all tradable for purchase of items here in the trade concourse, and he just gives it to you. He's like, you know, if you basically, he says, if you're willing to come look at our colony, you can have all of this. And I mean, there's probably a good 1,000 credits worth of stuff here, of these company cash, or as Stream International used to call them, sawbucks. Fucking assholes.
Camel cash.
Camel cash, yeah, that's what sawbucks were. They were basically camel. Oh, you can use them to buy stuff off of. I used to work for this company called Stream International. And it's like, oh, you can, rather than give you a fucking raise or a bonus or a promotion. Oh, here's a couple of sawbucks. You can use it to go to the company website and purchase a coffee mug.
They would give us a gift certificate that could be redeemed for a gift certificate.
Wow.
It was this third party agency that you'd get a gift certificate to that third party agency, and then they would basically issue gift certificates to like your local stores and restaurants. And
Holy
so,
shit.
yeah, that was always I always thought that was funny. I'm like, I'm getting a gift certificate for a gift
For a gift
certificate.
certificate. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Like they could just give me money. Yeah. Corporations are great.
Yeah. Dickheads. So yeah, he gives you. There's like 1,000 credits worth of company script here, and he says, yeah, whenever
Perfect.
feel free to spend this around the trade concourse, and
Is there an engineer that we could ask questions of when we are doing our, because we're not familiar with your equipment, and so we're going to have some just what are going to be just dumb questions that would really be helpful to have somebody that could answer those questions.
he says, well, we have a couple of people that are, I wouldn't necessarily call them engineers, but they've been poking around it long enough that for us, they are the most knowledgeable. So you could ask them; they might know.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, it's mean that if we're going to look at things, we're going to have to, we're going to have questions that we're going to need to ask so that we can offer advice or help. And so that's So okay.
So yeah, you guys finish your drinks, or at least one of you finishes a drink, and where would you like to go from here? Your mobile comm still hasn't gone off.
Do we want to go look at their colony?
Yeah, let's.
Is Randolph with us?
He's been going in and out.
Yeah. I know he was having problems with his router.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah, he's with us.
Curious, yeah. There was a moment where it was like I saw just him and me, and two left.
Yeah, he says he can hear us. Okay.
Yeah.
So the guy tells you that their colony is probably a good 100 clicks to the northwest of here.
Can take the gecko.
Yeah, you could certainly drive the gecko. So, okay. So it is a pretty rough ride. He already rolls perfect. So it is a bit of a rough ride, but Randolph is able to get you guys to this colony, and it is in a bit of a mountainous region where this. So the colony and the trade ship are based on a very I don't want to call it a glacier because that's not exactly true. But there is snow and ice here, and so it is a bit of a rough ride because you're driving over semi-frozen sand dunes the entire way, and you get to this area where this colony is built, and then the colony really is underground, and you see that there is an airlock, kind of a mound with an airlock, and the Erline is of course traveling with you. I'll copy one of these guys and stick him over here with you. And they're big, so he's having to ride towards the back of the Jeep, kind of in the cargo compartment and partially hanging out, but he's got multiple limbs that he can hang on with, so he's okay with this. And for the most part, he seems to be enjoying himself. He's never ridden in a vehicle like this, and he thinks that that's pretty cool. But there is some liquid water here where there is a waterfall coming down. If you want to test the environment, you certainly can. That would be a electronic sensors plus intellect or education check.
Sure.
That is.
Sure.
And actually, let me come up here to the gecko. Right, there it is. Gecko. So yeah, this guy is like hanging off the back. Just woohoo!
Yeah.
Crab man. So this.
So 11 for the sensors. Dang it, I closed my character sheet.
I hate it when I do that.
Yeah, I always mean to minimize it, and I forget.
Oh, I do that all the time. Trust me. Let me go to the vehicle.
As a GM, the problems I usually have 15 things minimized, and I can't find what I need, or they're on top of things.
See, that's one of the reasons why I like some of the new stuff that they've done with Adobe Acrobat, because you can have multiple PDFs open in tabs. But I think Wes has a better idea. He opens them up in Chrome. It seems to me that Chrome is a lot more stable.
I open them up in Microsoft Edge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Chrome
yeah,
Edge.
and then in Chrome I run Roll20, so they're not even on the same. So I can, if I'm using the same machine for both, I can push the Chrome button and this comes up, and because you have them running down in your taskbar,
right?
And then if I hit the Edge button, then all my PDFs come up. I
do the exact same thing. All my PDFs get read in the Edge by default.
Yeah,
but I browse them using Chrome.
Okay, so that's interesting. So this page is out of the second edition book, and it doesn't include all of the information that the vehicle handbook does. So it does have sensors. No special DM, but in 11, yeah, you get it. And so this is not pure water. This is a mix of water and methane.
this place is pollutively fucked.
Yeah, and so that actually is a very good point. You can't tell if the methane pollution in the water was here originally. It very well could be, because since the atmosphere of this world is kind of almost nil, or it could be the result of whatever fracking and mining that the Hakes are doing. You're not sure.
If they've stripped all the resources and not given a fuck to leave it behind, you can bet they had some effect on it.
Right? I mean, pretty safe bet. So, this guy has you guys. I mean, there's nowhere to. You just park the gecko outside. You don't have to worry about locking it, and he leads you into this airlock. And this airlock, you are the airlock shuts behind you, and it cycles, and your sensors are reading that after a few minutes that the air is breathable, but when you take your helmets off, the air smells stale. Like there's a
I'm gonna put my helmet back on.
Yeah.
Smells like there's a couple of empty tuna cans laying around somewhere. And so he opens this inner door. And leads you in. And this area you can see that there is a lot of, and it's quite obvious what this machinery is doing. This is immediately their air reclamation area. And you would expect to be seeing the fan turbines of all of these machines turning, but you're not. Some of the turbines are turning, some of them are turning really, really slowly, and other ones aren't turning at all. And you can see that there is a large machinery crane here towards the middle of the room, and there's a couple of Erline that are moving around, and he immediately waves them over and tells them that he is, in your ganglion is getting better, the translator is getting better, and he communicates to them that he has brought help, and he says that you will be able to fix everything that's wrong with the colony. Is what he tells them.
That is very optimistic. Besides, you can't make these improvements until they have
And yeah, all of them kind of, as crabs, they all kind of rock back and forth. It's their way of nodding, like, no, they get it. Anything that's done, we can't let the Hakes know.
Well, right, because I mean, if they were to make the improvements now, they would decide that they're not done feeding.
Good point. Good point.
If your efficiency goes back up, they're not going to leave. So you have to wait till they leave, and then you can work on your on getting things back up and running. I don't know that we can solve your problems, but we can come up with a. This is actually a really good class project for our engineers. That basically, I think this is going to be a fantastic way to keep our engineers busy. We're going to assign them a task project. You've got 5 days to come up with a plan to turn this colony back around. And so let's just go back to our mothership and let's see if we can't get a crew of scientists, and we'll sit them down and we'll have this become a task project for the team.
Randolph, with your hand scanner, go ahead and make a electronic sensors plus intellect or education check. Okay. So, Randolph, your hand scanner is the Geiger counter part of it is going just going crazy towards this door.
As you stay the fuck away from that.
So Randolph tells you guys that he's picking up radiological from beyond that door.
Well, we're not going in there.
No, we don't need any more radiation.
Well, I mean, Bocephus could get another flipper. Maybe another bottlenose.
We're all sitting on 100 rads of radiation as it is.
That's true. That's true. Another dick for the sex machine. Oh shit. That's hilarious. So yeah, so you're picking up radiation from here. I mean, you could, if anybody has, I guess that would be what, engineering life support. You can make an engineering life support check, plus intellect or education if you wanted to look over. I mean, obviously, air for a colony on a world with no atmosphere is kind of important. I don't know. Does anybody have that? Yeah. Okay. So
I think Randolph's are
10. Okay. So Randolph, you look over. You probably spend a good. You guys are probably here probably a good 4 hours, and Randolph has a chance to kind of go over all of their life support equipment in here, and it is in. It's not that it is. It's not that it is bad equipment. When it was new, Randolph, you determined that this would probably be around tech level 10. So it's actually even more advanced than what the Hakes have. It is its biggest problem is that it is very, very old. And right now, it is being held together with tech level 9 equivalent parts, and it's barely functioning, which is why the air in here is so stale. It's stuffy in here. There's very little air movement.
Do they have an idea on when they're going to leave?
The Hakes haven't said. And the Hakes have kind of they've kind of been forewarning the Erline, and they've been telling them that they're kind of having like, oh well, we're going out of business. We're leaving the planet sales, and so spend your script now. And this has been going on probably for the past year or so. And the Erline, so the Erline have been spending as much script as they possibly can to buy spare parts and whatnot that they think that they may need in the future. The problem is the Erline aren't really sure of what they'll need in the future because they're not even positive of what they have, and so they're kind of shotgunning it, buying everything that they possibly can. And but the Hakes have not really given a positive one way or the other which direction that they're or when they're going to leave. They don't know what the deal is.
Okay.
All of you can um, make a recon plus intellect check, and Randolph, you can make that with a boon. So roll 3 and take the 2 highest.
Wow.
Okay.
Fuck. 5.
So Randolph, the other thing that you notice about all of this is that all of the equipment in here looks like it is designed to, one, it's designed to be automated, and two, it looks like it's designed to be repaired by an automated device. It looks like at one time that the Erline were heavy into using robots.
Yeah, and they took all the robots.
Or
To
the
the
robots stopped
or-
functioning and they tore them apart for spares. I mean,
Yeah, the robots weren't repairing themselves or something.
Well, they stopped getting a signal for one reason. Probably something to do with these motherfuckers here. But just don't trust the Hague. They suck.
Well, the reality is, I mean, for these people, survival's probably more important than technology, and so, it might actually do them better to go with lower tech solutions because they don't have the engineers to support the higher tech stuff that they were using in the past. Like I say, I think this is we've been bringing back scientific evidence or information for our scientists to pore over. I think this is a time for our engineers to do a class project on what you would do to get this colony back up and running once the other folks leave.
so he does tell you, he says that this isn't the entire colony. He says that the rest of the colony is actually deeper underground, and that there are about 1,000 people in their colony. He says that even the Hakes haven't been down to their main colony. He says that they have taken the stance that they want to be very protective of the main colony. This is basically their engineering section up on the surface. Queen, the queen crab.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're obviously some kind of hive species, but God, I just don't know how much we want to get involved with all this. I mean, anything we do to fix all this is gonna
I
term.
don't think we don't fix this. We give them a plan for how they can rebuild. And so I think we turn this into a class project for our engineers and bring a group of them down to do a study and, like you would like a class project.
And provide them with a plan.
Yeah, come up with a plan and then basically go say, you wait until they leave and then break this plan out and start following it. And this will help you hopefully claw your way back.
Draw it with crayons.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why, though, I've asked if we can have a local liaison so that we can hopefully get the translation better. We're going to need multiple liaisons if we're going to have engineering teams down. And,
so yeah, this Erline here, he will definitely be willing to like he's already made contact with you, so he will kind of be the liaison for you.
Okay.
And he is very honored to take that position because he's not. He tells you he's not anybody of importance, but the fact of the matter is, he admits there's really nobody that would fit that. You know what I mean? There's nobody here that would.
Well,
they don't have like a central leadership or anything like that.
Right. Well, we're telling you that you better figure one out.
Okay.
Because that's something you're going to need.
Okay.
And you're going to need people that can service the equipment that you're running. And you might want to pick those people now because they can help us help you come up with a plan to bring this about. But you're going to need leadership and you're going to need people that can work on equipment. And I know that you probably haven't previously had to do that, but I would just look for your smartest and most respected people and see if they can't help out.
So he tells you that he will remain here and he will work towards getting those people together if you can come back with your engineers, and he will have that all set up and ready for when you come back.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So are you then going to head back, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I think we need to. Well, I guess we can radio the deep. Basically set up. We can radio the mothership, right?
You would have to do that from your ship. I don't think that you would have your transceivers won't reach that far.
Right. Okay. No problem. Yeah. We'll go back to the ship and at least radio the mothership and let them know the plans. They can start figuring out who they're going to send, that type of thing. I mean, those people are going to have to, get their. They're not going to be immediately ready to go. So.
Okay. So, you guys truck back to the base, or back to the starport, and first, of course you dock the or stow the gecko, and you can radio Deepnight. And how are you requesting it? What are you coming up with?
Basically just say we've encountered an interesting problem that might give folks an opportunity to do a project. It's a project for our engineers. The idea of a colony that is in horrible repair, does not have leadership, and does not have maintenance, and is lower technology level. How can they survive and thrive given their current resources. And so I think we want to send over some people to do a study and basically come up with a plan for these people to implement once they are no longer being bled dry by their oppressors.
Okay. So yeah, there's a delay, of course, and after the delay, you get a response back. Affirmative. Do you need any further assistance? We're going to basically they're going to load up a pinnace with their engineers and some equipment, and to head to the coordinates that you listed. Do you need any further assistance on world?
I don't think there's really, right? There's nothing we really need from here, right?
I mean, main thing I would want is to make the trade.
Yeah.
I want to get their star map
Right.
headed deeper into the air, especially if they have a way to cross the rift.
Yeah. We're negotiating for star maps and scouting information. But I don't think we really, you might want to send some basic trade goods because obviously our credits are no longer working out here. So I don't know, maybe some gold, silver, gems. I don't know what we might have that might work as trade goods, but
you've got some gold, you've got some silver, platinum.
Yeah, so you might want to send some stuff like that over with the engineers just so that we can, buy food and, that type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do some trade.
Highly suggest that you only eat things that have been scanned and cleared by medical personnel because they have weird shit.
Yeah, so I would imagine that the tech level 14 med kit, since it has the ability to actually bioscan, I would think it would tell you if something's poisonous. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, it would.
So that.
Yeah, nothing is coming back as poisonous.
Okay.
Just a lot of it might smell decent cooking, but the fact that some of it's moving is rather unappetizing, but it's not coming back as toxic in any way.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just want to make sure we don't end up with a fucking pandemic on the ship.
Here, try these mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, I don't want no one, got it. If something fucked up happens, that we don't really have replacement people as easy as we'd like.
Right. Yeah, and even if some of them end up in their bathrooms for a week, that still puts you down on manpower in certain divisions, so
yeah,
that could be a problem. So okay, we will pick up here next week at 7 o'clock on Friday night, and we will conclude with what you're trading for with the Treotania Trading Association.
Sounds good.
Thanks a lot.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good night, guys, and I will see you next week.
All right, have a good night. Thank you.
Night.
Take care.